The Polar Express was shining, like it had just been taken out of a box with Christmas lights. Kids were playing with the entertainers. Everyone was laughing. Everyone was happy. Everyone except me. Sir, my little brother is missing. Do something. Miss, the train makes no stops. Your brother is still on it. No one tried to help me, but I knew that Will had been taken by the person I'd let into our lives. All of a sudden, a hand fell on my shoulder. Psst. I know what's going on here. Come with me. I had no choice but to trust the stranger. Hi, my name is Harper. What's yours? Write your names in the comments down below. Let's get to know each other. My family was pretty poor and always bought whatever was on discount in the supermarket. Christmas was approaching. My brother wrote a letter to Santa Claus. He didn't ask for expensive gifts. He just wanted to meet Santa and treat him to a gingerbread cookie. Will was a sweet and sensitive boy. He was my whole world. Then, one day, my brother saw an ad for the Polar Express, the train that took children to Santa Claus's village, a Christmas adventure with real snow. It was pretty warm in our state in winter, and the snow usually quickly melted and turned into mud. Of course, my brother's eyes lit up. I want to be on that train. Woo woo! I asked Mom and Dad if they could buy a ticket for Will, but it costs more than our monthly budget. We can only afford to give him knitted socks. I decided to save up my money and get the Christmas miracle for my brother anyway. That's how I ended up working as an elf at a shopping mall. Every day I put on silly tights, glued on uncomfortable ears, and together with the other entertainers, took pictures with children. That's how I met Ron. His family also had money problems. We understood each other and quickly became friends. Ron saved me from rude parents who shouted, "My child should get to skip the line!" And I saved Ron from the kids who tried to tear his elf ears off. One day, we went to the parking lot for lunch and talked about what we were saving up money for. Then, Derek, the son of the mall owner, got out of a sports car. Ron obediently jumped to his feet. Sir, we weren't shirking. We're on a break. Relax, Ron. He's not the president. She's right. I'm just an ordinary guy. No need to treat me as the boss's son. Don't you love it when people drive sports cars but say they're ordinary people? Later, Derek came up to me again. Can I have a lollipop too? Sweets are only for those who were good this year. Once again, I'm not some arrogant rich guy. You know, when someone says they're ordinary, but they wear a watch that costs more than my apartment, it's hard to believe them. Then give me a chance to prove it. Fine, but no tricks. We started to hang out after that. Sometimes Derek would buy me a hot chocolate when I was on break. Sometimes he gave me a ride home. I still wasn't buying his sincerity. Rather, I was wondering if the golden boy would be able to handle my reality. Is it okay for you to spend time with someone of a different status? Harper, I choose people based on their hearts, not their status. How about I come over to your place? Let's say tomorrow evening? Are you sure? Okay, it's my day off. My parents will be at work, and Will's gonna be at Grandma's. I spent the next day cleaning our apartment and feeling nervous. Not because of Derek, but because he would see how he lived. However, Derek didn't come alone. He brought a mini squad of his rich friends. What's going on? Don't be mad. They just wanted to take a look. Before I could say anything, they walked into my home and started taking photos of everything. Look at this sofa. It's probably full of bugs. Where are the rats and cockroaches? I want to see them. I want a selfie with the slum girl. Derek and his friends laughed as they jumped on our old couch. Those rich teenagers were tired of yachts, trips, and ski resorts. They wanted to see how the poor lived. But I wasn't going to be free entertainment. Didn't you want to see a cockroach? Here you go. Mommy, get it off me! Derek screamed like a little girl. His friends filmed his humiliation and died laughing. The tour is over. See yourselves out. Derek glared at me on the way out. He was clearly harboring a grudge now. When I came to work the next morning, the mall owner looked at me like he was a judge ready to pass my sentence. Harper, the customers are complaining about you. They're saying you were rude to them. I have no choice but to fire you. Derek was standing next to him and smirking triumphantly. It was clear what was going on. That jerk had come crying to Daddy and asked him to punish me for standing up to him. You're pathetic. Without your father, you're nothing. I went to the locker room to get my things. Ron followed me in and looked at me sadly. I heard everything. Harper, you don't deserve this. Don't worry about me. I can handle it. He looked at me like he wanted to hug me, but he didn't. I was glad. I would have burst into tears, and I needed to stay strong. I tried to smile, but I felt gutted. I'd already promised Will that he'd be on the Polar Express. My brother was looking forward to the adventure with childish delight. I couldn't let him down. And then I got an idea. If the rich wanted to see poverty, they should pay me for it. I posted an ad for a poverty attraction and gave groups of rich parents and their spoiled kids a tour. I showed them around our crime-ridden neighborhood. It only looked scary because there are no neon signs or expensive boutiques around. And then I brought those rich people to our apartment. My parents didn't know anything. They were usually working late, and Will spent his days with our grandmother. Look at the squalor! Remember, son, if you don't study hard, you'll end up in a hole like this. It sounded humiliating, but the tours brought good money. However, one day, my parents came home earlier than usual. What's going on? I took them aside and told them about my small business. Mom and Dad weren't impressed with my resourcefulness, but they let me keep going until I saved up enough money to buy a ticket for Will. The tours usually took place on weekdays when they were at work, but one Saturday, a woman suddenly asked me for a private tour. She seemed strange to me. A perfect hairstyle, expensive jewelry, and a piercing, almost predatory gaze. The woman looked at me like I was a delicious piece of cake. How charming. Are you the owner? Not really. This is my parents' apartment. I saw your face on the website, and it seemed familiar to me. At that moment, my parents came out of the kitchen and froze. Victoria? Hello, dear. Long time no see. Get out. Stay away from Harper. Mom and Dad kicked her out and double-checked 10 times to make sure the door was locked. Okay. What was that? Harper, you should know this. Mom told me that she used to be Victoria's personal hairdresser when she was young. Victoria was a woman who smelled of power and money. She was also kind. They became fast friends. We got pregnant almost at the same time. Victoria was expecting a boy while I was expecting you. We wanted you to grow up together, fall in love with each other, and get married. Victoria paid for my stay at a private clinic when we were giving birth. Her son and you were born on the same day. You were lying in cradles together and smiling at each other. But Victoria's son did not live long. He was born with a serious heart condition. The doctors couldn't save him. After the death of her son, Victoria was overcome with grief. Mom tried to support her until her friends started to act strange. Victoria offered us money so that we would let her adopt you. We refused. She lost her mind and started to stalk us after that. We even had to move. We hadn't seen her since. Until today. She knows our address now. She knows where to find you, Harper. Be careful. That woman is unstable. I had no idea what to say and just nodded. The story shook me to my core. I promised my parents that I would no longer let strangers into our home. At least I managed to save up enough money for the ticket. The next morning, I went to the mall to buy my brother his Christmas present. Ron was standing on a street corner and twirling a sign advertising a diner. Hey, how are you doing? I've been better, Harper. Why did you change jobs? Well, after you got fired, I told Derek that he was rotten, and so was his dad, and that they were both worthless. Oh, Ron, were you fired because of me? It's not your fault. I just did what I had to. I stood up for my friend. It is not so bad here, except for the salary. I need to buy medicine for my mom by the end of the day. She shouldn't skip it. I only hesitated for a second, and then handed Ron the envelope with money. I can't. Of course you can. I still have a week left to buy a ticket for Will, but your mom needs medicine now. Thank you, Harper. I promise, I'll pay you back in a couple of days. I was walking home, lost in thought, when I suddenly noticed that a car was following me. It slowed down and sped up to always stay close to me, and the person behind the wheel was... Oh no, it was Victoria! She came back for me, and the game was on again. I ducked into a narrow alley and sneaked away from her. But then I saw her a couple more times on the other side of the street. She was watching our house like a patient hunter. On Sunday, Will and I went for a walk in the park. He built a snowman out of dirty snow and branches. There'll be a lot of white and fluffy snow in Santa's village. I forced out a smile, even though my stomach was in knots. Ron should have returned the money to me by then, but he wasn't answering his phone, and I didn't know his address. Harper, you're such a naive moron. Ron fooled you. The wind suddenly picked up, and wet snow that instantly turned into rain stung my face. I took Will's hand and dragged him home. Of course, Victoria was already waiting for me there. Enough's enough, you hear me? Quit following me. I'm sorry about your son, truly, but I'm not your daughter. There was a long pause, and then Victoria broke down. She fell right into a puddle. The woman wasn't just sobbing, she was choking on her tears. I'm sorry. I don't know who I am without my child. I sighed. Victoria's not a monster, but a woman who had everything taken from her. Come on, we should warm you up, but you need to leave before our parents come home. I made hot cocoa for us. Will started to draw. Victoria warmed her palms on her mug. After my son died, my relationship with my husband was ruined. We got divorced. I had a mental breakdown and started to stalk your parents. I even had to be treated in a psychiatric clinic and was forbidden from adopting children after that. They said I was too unstable. I felt terribly sorry for her. She was just a rich woman with a huge void inside. What is your life like? It's sometimes hard, but we're together. That's enough. Your brother is so adorable. Yes, he is everything to me. I wish Will could get a real Christmas miracle for once, but it's probably too expensive for us. At that moment, Mom and Dad returned from the store. They were furious when they saw that I had let Victoria in again. Harper just helped me warm up. I'm sorry I've caused so much trouble. You won't be seeing me again. Now I know exactly what to do. Victoria smiled so mysteriously when she said it that I felt a little uneasy. The next day, I found an envelope on our doorstep. There was money and a note inside. For Polar Express tickets for you and your brother. A gift from Victoria? I managed to snatch the last train tickets. I could finally make Will happy. Thank you, Harper. I'm so glad you're coming with me. It smelled like cinnamon and hot chocolate inside the train. Everyone felt the holiday spirit and looked happy, but I had a strange feeling that someone was watching me. I was probably just tired because I hadn't slept well. I left Will with the other kids and closed my eyes, just for a minute. Okay, maybe two. When I opened them again, my brother was nowhere to be seen. My blood ran cold. Will, where did the boy you were playing with go? A pretty lady came and took him away. My heart sank. Victoria, of course! She chose a new target instead of me. Well, that's why she gave us such a generous gift. I asked a conductor for help. Sir, my little brother is missing. Do something. Miss, the train makes no stops. Your brother is still on it. The man turned away indifferently. He had no idea how serious the matter was. I checked a few cars, but couldn't find Will. All of a sudden, someone put a hand on my shoulder. Psst, I know what's going on here. Come with me. Every cell in my body screamed, don't trust him. But I came along. The man took me to the staff car. Wait here. There's someone who wants to see you. A few minutes passed. I was starting to suspect I'd fallen into Victoria's trap, but then someone else came. Surprise! Run! Did you ask the conductor to bring me here? Yeah, I've been watching you all evening and waiting for the right moment to explain everything. I'm sorry I didn't answer my phone. I went to another city to get the medicine for my brother, and then I got a job as an elf on the express. I asked for an advance and left an envelope with money by your door. That was you? Why was there more money than I gave you? It was a gift. I wanted you to be on the Polar Express and get your share of the magic. Well, have I earned a kiss? No kisses until I find Will. Wait a minute, I saw your brother with some woman. What are we waiting for? Take me to them. Here they are. Victoria, I know what you're up to. I won't let you steal Will. What? That didn't even cross my mind. After our last conversation, I realized that I didn't have to be a mother to take care of children. What does that mean? I bought the train tickets for some orphans and children from poor families. I got a ticket for myself as well to see the happy children's faces. I'm sorry I took Will away to play while you were napping. I breathed a sigh of relief and hugged Will. I realized how wrong I was. Victoria, you would have been a wonderful mother. Thank you, Harper. It was important for me to hear that. I'm still here. I was about to answer, but the train suddenly jerked. I lost my balance and fell right into Ron's arms. My Christmas wish just came true. How about a kiss? Not so fast, elf. The train stopped. We got out, and it was like we were in a fairy tale. Santa's village was ablaze with lights. It was snowing, and the air smelled of wonder and hope. The children squealed with delight. We ran up to Santa and handed him a gingerbread cookie. This is for you, Mr. Santa Claus. My mom made it. Thank you, kid. What do you want for Christmas? You know, I already have everything. I looked at Will, at Victoria, who was building a snowman with the other children, and my heart felt warm. Perhaps happiness is not about money. It's about the people who are there for you and the love you give each other. Catch it. Oh, you asked for it. Sometimes miracles happen just because someone still believes in them.